Hi, I'm John Ratliff. I'm a managing director at STS Capital. It's an investment bank, global investment bank. We're based in Wilmington, Delaware, but there's managing directors all over the world. And more importantly, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started and sold a bunch of companies, and that's kind of my core background is I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So there's lots of definitions for entrepreneurship. I get asked a lot, what does entrepreneurship mean? One of the best definitions I've heard is someone that takes resources at a lower level of productivity and elevates them to a higher level of productivity. But I think more important than that, I think they're the real creators in the world that are propelling people and economies and governments forward, and you know, building things that give people a place to go and do meaningful work. And I really think they're kind of the core of what makes certainly the United States an amazing place. But I also think they're one of the most important economic drivers on the planet. So I started my first company in the mid 90s, and it was definitely a challenge in the beginning. One of the things that I think was really important was failure was never really an option for me. I was completely driven to make sure that that business succeeded, not so that I was successful, but so that I didn't let down all the people that were working with me. So I guess I was really young back then and maybe a little bit naive, and I think my naive view of the world probably helped me overcome some of the challenges that maybe later in life would have been more difficult. So I sold my company in 2012, and I kind of knew it had been 18 years we had grown the business, and uh, during those 18 years had amazing success. But I was sort of at the end of the road with that business, and it was really healthy. We had a great staff. We had a really great leadership team. The business was in great shape, and I always feel like the best time to think about an exit is when your business is really, really healthy. And I'd kind of run the course as the entrepreneur, and I wasn't really probably the leader that I should have been, and made the decision to exit. Now, what was important, we focused on finding a strategic buyer for the business, not a financial buyer. We wanted someone that valued more than just the cash flow that the business was producing. We had built an amazing culture. We had really low turnover. We had a great customer base. And we were really good at kind of operating the company. And we did find a strategic buyer that valued those extra things over and above just the cash flow of the business. And in our advisory work at STS Capital now, STS stands for selling to strategics. We really work with entrepreneurs to find those strategic buyers that will value things that financial buyers won't value. I've learned so many lessons the hard way. I don't know how to pick what would be the greatest one, but uh, the one lesson that always comes to mind is you own, as the entrepreneur, as the leader, you own the experience of the employees. And if your employees are miserable, you're making them miserable. If your employees aren't working hard, it's probably because you're doing something to cause them to not want to work hard for you. And once you accept the fact that you own their experience, they don't owe you anything. You owe them because they choose to show up and try and make your vision a reality. You owe them your respect, you owe them your time, you owe them your attention. And once you shift your thinking of, I pay them, therefore they owe me, as opposed to they show up and give me their effort and I owe them, I think that's the most important and difficult lesson for an entrepreneur to learn. So, as far as STS Capital goes, the investment bank that I work with, we're really seeing a surge of companies now that understand selling to a strategic buyer. And a strategic buyer is one that values things over and above the cash flow of the business. Selling to strategic buyers really is the ultimate path for success. And I see that trend continuing. There's lots and lots of capital right now on the sidelines, ready to be deployed. We're in a very healthy M&A environment right now, and I see that trend continuing certainly over the near term, 3 to 5 years. The number one piece of advice for a budding entrepreneur is it's all in or nothing. You have to pour all of your effort and passion and energy into trying to scale what you're working on. It's not a part-time job. It's difficult to do it in your spare time. And if you really, really want to build a real company to scale, it takes a massive amount of effort. The good news is it's the most rewarding work you'll ever do, and I think it's the most independence-driving lifestyle that you could possibly lead. If independence is important to you, being an entrepreneur is really a very good choice of career.